low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst. We can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Out on the dirt ovals we play, life in the bright lights with no shades. Letting her go, letting her rip, letting her fly, tossing her in sideways, living the life, letting her ride, eyesight winning to die. Cross her up on the cushion, crossing the line, cause some drama and some bullshit they didn't like, and if they don't.
Well, hello. Oh, we are loud. We are loud. Oh, hold on. Let me mess with this audio real quick. Everyone's favorite Clark is back. He's not back just yet. He's getting close. Superman is about to appear. Oh, let me get this straightened up. Sorry, we have the camera kind of stable here, but I guess the camera just doesn't like it sometimes. This is a interesting thing that we got here today, and obviously I feel like a little bit clickbaited some people. So let's just lead this off. I was going to lead it off with something completely different, but I am going to lead it off with the clickbait title because I don't want people to lose their bunkers and go insane and start calling me a gravel, duplicator, because we know gravel, kind of clickbaits a little bit. And people used to, they love my thumbnails. And I don't know if any of my thumbnails have actually ever been clickbait. Like, I don't know if I've actually put some, even though my thumbnails can be crazy, artistic, creative, nice little catchphrase sayings, I don't know if there's ever been a thumbnail that I put out there and it had something on it that when you go and watch the video, that's not in the video. Now, even though the only part that I would call clickbait in the thumbnail of this video is still true, it's still in that deceitful category, and I try to be very sincere. I try to not be deceitful. I try to tell you what I think, and authenticity is kind of what I like and enjoy and think there's a lack thereof in today's society, especially. That's why I try to promote it and be it, and the best way to promote it and be it and influence it is to do it. So authenticity and influence is the biggest thing in the world, but regardless, the one thing that is potentially clickbaity in the title is this thing. And it was Kyle Larson racing this weekend. We might as well just put it on the screen as the first thing. Look at his eyes. He's aging well. A little wrinkle on the forehead. But I think I got like 10 of them. Although this was from like getting hit and gang beat one time because a kid stole my bike. It's weird in the hood. When you get your bike stolen in an apartment complex off in the hood, you get your bike stolen, you find the guy who stole your bike, and you fight him, and you kick his ass, right? But then, like, 2 or 3 hours go by, and then, like, 6, 7 guys show up, and I mean, you swing as much as you can, but you're going down. I mean, it's bad. You're going down, they're kicking you, hitting you in the face. I mean, that's why I'm not going to say that's why my lips that way, but that's why my face is kind of just, look at me. I got one side looks one way, one side looks like a little bit different. You see that? It's almost two-faced. That was from getting gang beat as a kid, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 years old, off in the ghetto. But you ain't going to steal my bike and not get an ass whooping regardless. It don't look like Kyle's ever had to face that thing or that type of situation in his entire life, which I'm assuming nobody in the dirt racing world outside of late model drivers have. But Kyle Larson is racing this weekend, And as much as the title may look like it may be towards the gateway race, it is not. Kyle Larson, and somebody wanted me to bitch about this. I'm not going to. Kyle Larson comes back to where it all started. This Saturday night, September 16th, former NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Larson will make his long-awaited return inside the Pauline Davis Pavilion at the Tehama District Fairgrounds, I think that's how you say it, in search of his elusive first career win in the Packwood Superior Wood Products. That's, man, how do you advertise that company? That's too long. Open division. For Larson, it will be his first appearance at the RBO Red Bluff Outlaws. Most people know this as Red Bluff. Since October 2020, where he finished 7th at the Burns Bull Ring Showdown. Or does that say Bums? No, it says Burns. Or Burris? Is that Burris? Burris. Sorry, it's really small on my screen, completely big on yours. But that is where Larson will be. Now, somebody wanted me to bitch about that. Somebody also came at me and wanted me to bitch about the West Coast sprint car scene. I mean, it seems like everybody loves to bitch about the West Coast sprint car scene. But this guy had a different opinion. He literally just randomly messaged me and said, let's see. He said, here's the question I have. Just randomly said this. Does SLC actually care about all of dirt track racing, or is it just specifically the sprint car world? SLC, Sweet Larson Copeland, that's their little promotion group that runs Chico. But I asked the question to verify, because there's other SLCs. I said, SLC as far as West Coast. He said, promotions, yes, West Coast. I said, they probably only care about sprint cars. And he said, that's what I've been thinking too. Shoot, I'd like to see those super late models ripping the Cali high sides. I said, there's no car. And this, I'm not just an idiot. When I go to rip somebody about how they may be doing something, I actually feel it and think it. I mean, I consider reality. And business and all these things, and the politics and the nepotism monarchy that's on your screen right now. But regardless, he said, I said there's no cars over there. He said, I mean Larson's been driving them. I replied and I said, yeah, in the Midwest and East, there's cars over here. He said, modifieds too. I said, how many super late model teams are even in that region? Modifieds, yeah, but IMCA runs the game. And yeah, they don't care. Open wheel is all they worry about. He said, I'm thinking if they tried to bring those cars out here, might get people to run them. I said, I think Vegas tried 100 or 50K and barely got 30 cars. And they probably had to pay guys under the table. He said, damn. I said, late model teams aren't out there, and the teams that have them won't drive there. That's just that true. Then he goes into hobby stocks, and how hobby stocks is where all the modified guys are going because it's the only thing sustainable with the payouts and how much they cost to run. And I said, everything but sprints over there is sort of torn. Even sprints are somewhat torn. Just a lot of distance between y'all and the rest of the world. West Coast is just on an island, and they're screwed. I mean, and that, you know, car counts and classes out there on the West, everything else but a sprint car. You don't get no glamour. You don't get no clout. You don't get no attention. It's open wheel country. No one cares. There's no late models over there, so there ain't no fendered class that goes really fast and speed sells. I think that's the biggest issue with the modified class in the world right now. The biggest issue with, I don't care if it's these XR, ONHM modifieds, UMP mod, even USMTS, which is the best damn racing you could see. The problem with modified racing is that in this new world that Kyle and High Limit and World of Outlaws are living in and battling in, there's this thing called streaming, okay? And streaming is a camera in the grandstands that films things on the track that are very entertaining to watch, and people will pay money to watch that entertainment. Now, the problem with that is video slows everything down. It's a sprint car looks slow on camera. You can't. We always say to be there in person's completely different, and that's very true. A sprint car that looks fast on a camera at Eldora or Knoxville or any of these tracks is when you're there, you really feel how fast that is. And a modified going into a corner at 85, 90 when you're in person, or 65 when you're in person, that feels very fast. But unfortunately, for the modified racing of the world, your cars look snail-ass slow in the streaming world. On camera, and I hate it. I hate it. I'm a modified guy. I love modifieds. I've advocated for modifieds for so damn long. I've done a lot of stuff around them. I think they're awesome. They are definitely although I will say, that is where the line is drawn between enjoyment of in-person versus at home. I can know every driver. I'm probably going to watch the 100,000 to win at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. That's glorious and great. Hell, I'm already trying to find a ride, even though they're sold out on entries. That's great. That's grand. But a modified just looks so slow. And like I said, that's where the line is drawn for me. If you're not entertaining on camera, if you don't look fast and quick and in a hurry on camera, this new world that's all about streaming and camera-based exposure that people are going to pay to view, it's just too slow, man. It's the WNBA. Yeah, and I'm no disrespect to the WNBA. I mean, they're great. They're grand. They're almost like the modified guys. They're the best of their world. But has anybody watched a WNBA game? Or have you got, and for me, I've only kind of watched pro sports. I watched a little college football, I'm not into college basketball like some people are. But when I grew up in Texas, it's all about being the best, very arrogant and cocky people down there. So that's how I was raised in my surroundings, black neighborhoods, all that. It was all about being the best on the court or the best in the field or hitting the hardest or throwing the best or it was all about being the best where I grew up. And if you weren't the best, take your ass whooping and get better. But what I mean by that is I grew up watching pros. I grew up watching NFLs and NBAs. And, sometimes if dad was really, really drunk, there was a hockey game on the TV. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is when you watch an NBA game and you get used to that style of watching the players on the court play and the speeds and the athleticism, and then when you hear about this WNBA thing and you tune over to it, it's just not the same. You can visually see the digression in speed, in bursting, in momentum, in shifting, in action. You can see the action slows down. And when you're used to NBA level action, it is hard, at least for me, to get attuned to watching a WNBA because it's just the action is so much slower. And I think that's going to be a big issue for modified guys out there. I think that's going to be a huge, and I didn't plan on this being a modified discussion, but I think that's going to be a huge issue for the future of modified racing. It's just it's almost in the WNBA, NBA aspect, the biggest difference that you see when you watch a WNBA game is it looks like little midgets on the court. It looks like little people. It looks like little bitty short people are on the court, and that's why the action looks so slow and it takes them so long to get to the basket. It's because the people in the NBA are just that big. You go to an NBA game and it's like watching giants. You don't realize that when you're growing up watching it on a TV screen versus the in-person. But you get there and like, wow, these guys are giants. I'm sure a WNBA game, when you're there in person, it's like, wow, this is fast. Wow, this is action-packed. But on camera, it just doesn't sell. And that's what I believe. Now, it's unfortunate. Hopefully people like watching very slow-looking 3 and 4 wide badass racing. But the difference between being in person at, for instance, Mississippi Thunder Speedway next year for 100K versus watching it on camera is going to be night and day. To me, that's a race you either go to or you just don't watch. It's modified, and this is just my opinion, obviously. I'm sure there's people with an opinion, oh, I love it. They slow it down so the camera don't jitter as much, and we get to see more action or something. I don't know. But for me, this is the big problem with modified racing going forward. And I reference modifieds in this conversation because he talked about California, and that's about the only fender style racing y'all have to provide. That's your top fuel of fendered racing over there. It's not like the Midwest and the East Coast, Southeast, where they got super late models and even the limited late model or just something that has a body on it and fucking hauls ass. Now, look, I'm not saying your IMCA and USMTS modifieds aren't hauling ass, but in comparison, I'm not saying you suck, WNBA player, but in comparison to LeBron, the late models and the Michael Jordan sprint cars and all, compared to these guys, you look slow, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault that y'all are just a bunch of fucking bitches and you won't get in to real race cars. Unfortunately, that's true. Now, I ain't going to talk about your hair or if it's nappy or not, but at the end of the day, we're trying to get canceled here on the chat, so we're just going to go and say some offensive shit. Why not? It's fun, right? Fucking dumbasses. But anyways, Ninja, please. No, y'all ain't a bunch of bitches. I think Modified's possibly the hardest car to drive in dirt racing. It's just, in person, probably some of the best racing you can see in person. But when you get on that camera, you just don't measure up, guys. You just don't. The action, the speed's just not there. And because we're used to that late model and sprint car speed, it's just, you can visually see the slowness. You can visually see the retardation in speed. This is the actual term, meaning retardation in speed. The actual slowness of the cars. It sucks. To me, it sucks. To me, it's one of the worst things going. Maybe there's some kind of new 4K camera or something that can capture the speed, maybe some different camera angles. But, man, I ain't going to sit here and just keep hating on modifieds. Because, like I said, I think that we're the best racing, has some of the best race car drivers. Dallin Murdy is entered into that event. I want to go to that event. But if I don't go to Mississippi Thunder Speedway in person to that race, I'm not going to watch it on streaming. I would rather read the results the next day than watch a YouTube highlight, because I can at least imagine and respect the results. I can't really respect how slow it looks on camera. I'm just saying, and that sounds really bad, but man, what modifieds look like on streaming is really bad. It really is really bad. Is there any responses to that? I know somebody's got to have a comment. I'm sure people want to call in now and rip me a new one. Hold on. Let's see here. Hold on. That was supposed to be correct. What happened here? There we go. This didn't change. Okay. All right, let's see him. Chaz, you want to take bets if Larson makes the show at Red Bluff? Oh, Chase Rodman has entered. Hey, Chase Rodman, I have a phone number if you want to call it. We can get Chase. That would actually be a real good conversation. I can go from blasting modifieds. I didn't blast Larson. I didn't say he wasn't going to make the show. If he doesn't make the show, y'all got issues over there. Of course, Chase Rodman going to be making his announcing debut professionally, nationally at least, with High Limit next year. And I believe Red Bluff's where you got your start, right, Chase? Somebody called him a giraffe. That's so mean. Just because our average height in the racing world is like -2 inches doesn't mean that Chase Rodman is a giraffe. He's just like a normal height guy. Like if you go to an NBA game, you see Chase Rodman's walking around everywhere. Chase Rodman is short in the NBA. He's about WNBA height. Okay, this is how we blow. Spike has literally went off the deep end. It's the way. Okay, I wanted to get some comments on this modified thing because I really think it's holding the sport back. I don't know what they could do to fix it. It's the way they zoom and angle the angle of the cameras. I noticed it makes the cars kind of look slow, but in person they're fast. Even watching a cup race, it's that way. I agree, but that the speed we're used to seeing in the sprint car and late model, we just don't see it. And maybe that's happened a lot when modifieds have tandoed with late models, or similar, or down at Volusia they tando with the sprint cars or late models. So we literally in time get to see the big difference on the streaming aspect of how much slower they are. Maybe that's what's done it for me. But maybe it just being modifieds will save them. But I'm sorry, they just look slow on camera, and I know they're not slow. In person, it's the way to go. Kyle Larson stole my modified. Make Larson and Sweet start in the last row. I don't know if Sweet's going to be there. Let's see. Chase Rodman not following up. Not following up. I think Larson will make the show. That's not a debate. Speaking of Chase Rodman, there was another person to join Chase Rodman in leaving the World of Outlaws. You're not alone in this one. Cody Husson posted this to his Facebook, and this was just a few hours ago. As of tonight, I would like to officially run across the aisle and high five Red Rover Chase Rodman and announce that I will be leaving the World of Outlaws. I can't thank everyone at World Racing Group enough. Here comes the fake eyelashes, for making the last 4 years of my life memorable. I learned a lot, experienced a lot, and made many friends along the way. All the memories I made with everyone will last a lifetime. For next year, I will be joining my buddy Chase with the High Limit Racing organization. I'm excited for this opportunity. Brad and Kyle are actually nice people to me, and to be a part of this new journey and all the new memories to be had up and down the road I'll be making along the way. Can't wait to get rolling and hope to see everyone at some point down the road this year. Let's go, Chase. So Chase Rodman, a lot of accolades in this one for you. It's very interesting. Any comment as I talked to him at Port Royal? Who did you talk to, Chase? You're talking to this guy, Husson. Apparently, I asked around, who is this guy? I never heard of him before. But apparently, the description I got of who that is he's on track cleanup. Apparently, that's what he says. Yes, I talked to him at Port Royal about this Red Bluff race. He's just hoping to make the main. You're talking to Larson, I assume. But yes, Red Bluff is where I announced my first race. Highlight video on YouTube somewhere. Interesting. Now, what's more so interesting is that Chase Rodman here has been joined by a bunch of people over there at High Limit. And this is back to what man, you know, when this whole thing happened with High Limit and Brad and everybody asking for money, I was saying, in a way, in a funny way, this is, you know, and all these drivers saying, I need to make more money. And then another pimp opens a option. The only reason your hoes are leaving the pimp is because the pimp didn't treat them or pay them well enough to begin with. So that's just what happens in the streets. Okay. That's what happens in business. If you don't get treated or paid well, when an option opens up, they leave. That did not happen with me in my previous relationship, but they do leave. I'm just saying it. Although I hear Spike, I hear all the insults that Spike has thinking up as I'm talking. So I'm trying to respond to those as well. Spike is a huge distraction, almost more than women. But it's a real bad thing to see all these people just jump ship and go to High Limit. That tells me that it wasn't just the racers being underpaid and underappreciated, that it was the entire situation being either underpaid or underappreciated. Now, unfortunately, we live in this boss world, and this is something I'd like to talk about to you media people. And let me drink some water. This is water. I'm not drunk. something that the World of Outlaws may have been doing, which a lot of organizations, tracks, and people do in this racing world, is take advantage of your love for the fucking sport, buddy. Now I'm going to put that off to the side because this is a very serious conversation. Now, once again, I could be the epitome example of being taken advantage of your love for the sport. I'm basically on here and running up and down the road and got a hurt knee from holding a pedal. I've been doing it for free outside of personal funding, which is definitely helping, like fans and socially funded in a way because people like what I'm doing and saying, which is the proper way to operate in the political world. But I ain't got no super PACs behind me like organizations in the streaming industry. I've worked with them, but they're not like funding me to go up and down the road. I'm not a paid person. Now, unfortunately, in these industries that I'm talking about, and potentially happen with the World of Outlaws here, if you're a big sprint car fan and you love sprint car racing, wouldn't you want to, and you're a media guy, wouldn't you want to work for the World of Outlaws? Oh my God. And I had a story, I'm going to say not about the World of Outlaws to kind of be nice here. I'm going to say this story is not about the World of Outlaws, but one of the biggest sprint car organizations in the world since we've known it, bought this big badass 18-wheeler truck, right? And they were going to use it to sell tickets out of. They had built like booths in it and places to sell tickets, but they needed someone to drive the truck. And this buddy of mine, he is a big truck driver. And he went to asking he's from Florida, so he's like, who's going to drive the truck this year? And they sent him some links and all that and sent him the link. And he was like, when I got there, I couldn't believe what they wanted to pay. He said it was like 20 something, 30 something $1,000 to be a truck driver from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, no stopping. Now, he was saying how there's coverage for food and you get allowances or per diems or whatever. But that price is just so low, bro. Who's going to do that? Unless you love it. Unless you see it being so much money. And yeah, it's not fair. I'm not getting paid what I'm actually worth, but I love the sport so much that I'm willing to sacrifice that extra or more pay and take what I can just to be a part of the sport. And I feel like that has happened across the board. This is not just an outlaw thing. This is happening across the board, from local media, picture taker people, videographer people, everyone but the race car driver. And honestly here, everyone but the race car drivers of this sport and maybe a few select announcers are underappreciated and under fucking paid. That's just the damn truth of the matter. All of them are being taken advantage of for their love. That's a hard statement to say all of them, but I would say a majority of them are getting paid hundreds, if not thousands less to do a job that's worth hundreds, if not thousands more, because they love what they're doing. And that's why I started this off by saying your love is being taken advantage of. And so, when a situation goes from, I love this, I want to be a part of it bigger than anything, and this is all you can do, okay, this is what I have to do because I love it. And then another option opens up on the other side of town. And now all of a sudden, everyone over here that's been eating your breadcrumbs can now go eat normally and not feel taken advantage. I don't know if I should keep talking here. Maybe not. Maybe they get paid differently. How about that? And maybe they think they'll feel more appreciated over on the other side of the aisle. And now, unfortunately, for me, that looks like the reality of the situation, because everyone that I can think of that was important outside of those directly involved, everyone has gone to high limit. All of them. So that's a sign that the people that were there were either underappreciated or underpaid or both. And judging on how that truck driver was describing the pay to be a big-time sprint car organizational truck driver for a year and live on the road for 8 months or whatever it is and get paid 30 or whatever grand, maybe that type of offering is why. But even if that's the case, it is still small business over here with the Outlaws, and they don't have the backing that Flow does right here. I think that that's playing a big factor here, is that Flow's got a bigger bank. They got more than one bank. The fucking Carlisle group sitting over there. Disney, you think you're gonna beat Mickey Mouse? You think UFC's going to bow? Even though they're doing Dirt Vision has the UFC guy, but I mean Discovery. I mean all these people. It's not happening. It's not happening. So maybe that's what happened. It seems like not just drivers, but once again the drivers are the only ones appreciated. Let me just reiterate that. The drivers are the only ones appreciated and valued. All this spurred off on drivers being paid fairly. And High Limit started it on drivers being paid fairly. But after getting a fuck you or a middle finger instead of a handshake to this whole idea of more money and more races, they went ahead and went next level with it. And they're worried about paying owners with the charter system. They're obviously paying the media and the people who make the shit work more or better or whatever. Maybe everybody's just on it for the hype train sake of things. Or maybe everybody sees over here that taking care of everyone except just the drivers is how you create an army. Is how you create warriors. And I talked about how, with our interview with Jeremy Elliott, how I think sometimes Brian Carter or the leaders over at the World of Outlaws do things as a boss talking to employees. And I feel like Brad Sweet is doing things like a leader talking to its warriors, like a quarterback talking to its team. Here's what we're all going to do. We're going to give you this. We're going to do this. You're going to go here. We're going to take this route. Or over here, it's like, numbers, what? Huh? Wait, no, this is our business. No. So that's the cultures can change here too. And maybe the head coach over here at the Outlaws needs to swap. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look good right now. It doesn't look good. All right, let's see some comments. Spike, of course, just throwing his laughter out there. I'm sure that Chase has left the building now that his name was on the screen while I went on a rant for 10 minutes. Yep, he's not commenting no longer. High Limits is emo rich kids ruining the sport. The whole damn sprint car industry is emo rich kids ruining the sport. Chaz Biden dead, blah, blah, blah. See, Spike is just in here saying nothing. Spike, this is why his stuff just needs to be put in timeout. It means nothing. A bunch of nothingness. Come with some actual, stop spam. Look at this. Look at all the stuff that was just deleted. Talking just bullcrap. Spamming the chat. That's what you call that, is spamming the chat. Somebody wants Chase to call in. It would be nice. I'm in the weight room while listening to the show, Chaz. That's nice. Modifieds look horrible on streaming. Yes. When you put guys that can drive, then modifieds are good. They are great. They are great. They're great racing. They're great racing in person. I don't see them getting any faster without raising the cost of racing a modified. Oh, God. We're still on modifieds. Chase, what are the streaming numbers? 8.5 million over 11 races. 700. Oh, God. Any chance the Chaz will do live pre-race and post-race show at the 100K mod race at Mississippi? Maybe. I mean, I'm not against going to that show. That is going to be a good show to attend. I don't think it's going to be that great to watch on streaming. I just think modifieds don't do it. They just don't have no speed. That's not even a sprint car thing. People do that across the board in motorsports. Sadly, I can say I was almost in that position a few short years ago with a different sport. So you're talking about sports in general. Take advantage of your love. The West Memphis stop for both series is bizarre. You know, racing at an area that is in the top 10 most dangerous places in North America. Well, I believe number 1 is Tulsa. So how about you go check out the Chili Bowl? I believe Tulsa is the most dangerous city in America, statistically. Is that true? Could somebody fact check that? Hold on. Most dangerous cities in America. Oh. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, and here we are talking about the Chili Bowl indoor races. Look what number 1 is. Oh, my God. St. Louis, Missouri. That's not good. That's a reason to watch the stream. I guess another reason I'm not going to drop a bunch of money and go to Gateway right there. Although, we do plan on having a 3-day Gateway gathering here on the YouTube, watching the entire night of racing on the channel, each of the 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, here on the YouTube. Should be fun, but I did not know that. I thought it was Tulsa. Maybe it's the wording. Most violent cities, a little different. Hold on, let's see here. Oh, no. It's a big red dot there in St. Louis. Oh, God. So you were saying Memphis is number 4. I swore Tulsa was more dangerous. I thought Tulsa was worse. Wow, Memphis, Tennessee. They're very close here, though. Who would have thought Little Rock, Arkansas's top 5? Would you have bet on Little Rock, Arkansas being top 5? What's up with these racetracks being around all these? Little Rock, the Dome, St. Louis, Stockton. I mean, Springfield Mile, Springfield, Missouri, Indianapolis, San Bernardino, obviously. Nashville, Lansing. Who would have thought Lansing? Why is Michigan going so crazy? Or probably because it's so cold, they ain't got sprint cars or nothing up there. But that's nuts. St. Louis, number freaking 1. Wow. Let's see. Has there been any comments worth reading? No super chats yet, I don't think. Wait, let me make sure. Nope, not one super chat. What a joke, man. What a joke. Let's see here. WRG didn't play nice last season, and now High Limit is rubbing their nose on it. That's what I tried to tell them to play nice. I warned them so bad. I tried to say be nice to the Mickey Mouse guys, or they will do something to you. Little Rock is a stretch for sure. Gateway Gay Party with your host, the Big Chaz. Now we have a new name. Probably Spike has like 6 or 7 different Gmails that he logs into to come on here and spam the chat. What are the other indoor tracks on the West Coast? I know of Lakeport, Red Bluff, Chowchilla. That would be a Chase Rodman opinion. Chase curious, what is your take on High Limit and current state of the sport? Canucks versus Lightning. So that's Tampa Bay in Canada, I think. Oh, he's watching. Oh, wait. Did we get some more Chase Rodman comments? I'm still here, Chaz. Watching hockey on one screen, Chaz on the other. Oh, my. Hold on. Let's see. Can we get a Chase Rodman talk? This could be interesting. Chase Rodman call in right now. This could be really good, too. We'll see if I could get a number to call on the low. And I'll make him a call-in graphic right now live on the damn show. We'll see. We'll see if we can get him on it. We'll see. Tyler Phillips says, I thought for a second there I saw Terry Phillips. I was like, oh, Terry Phillips. The World Racing Group's problem is even said it interview. The focus way too much on the numbers. Yep. You're persistent. I'll give you that, Chaz. Never ending supply of enthusiasm. I'm trying to be enthused. There's a lot of shit personally in my life I'm really sad about. Fuck, I cried like 6 times today. All over the girl. But it just sucks. You know, it just sucks. Steve Penland with a $20 super chat. Let's see. Hold on. We need Chase Rodman to call. Chase, check your Facebook Messenger. Check your damn Facebook Messenger. The people have spoken. They want a damn Chase Rodman call in right now. Let's see. I'm gonna start making the caller graphic right now because it's happening. Chase Rodman is calling into the Chaz and ending his high limit. This is what he's worried about, ladies and gentlemen. He's worried about ending his high limit career before it even begins. I guarantee you that's what's running through his head. He's like, man, if I call in, I've had a few White Claws like Brad, but if I say something wrong, this could be it. I know Kyle will call up and bitch me out if I say the wrong thing on the Chaz show. So he's making career moves right now to come on to the show or not. Is Chase Rodman. We are in negotiations right now with your chats coming across the screen. Where would you like to see? Okay. Let's see here. He is not active just yet. Oh. The traitor. We got to get him. Hold on. What picture's best? Get him without a Dirt Vision. Get him without any Dirt Vision attire. That might be illegal right now to show Chase with a Dirt Vision attire. I wonder if it is. Well, there we go. We'll get him one of the old school. Oh, dang! So the message was loud and clear. This was happening all these years ago. You were Speed Sport. You were already, planting the seeds to take him out. Wow. Is Chase going to let you fans down? I thought, it's not good, Chase, to start your announcing career off by letting fans down. That could be worse than pissing Kyle or Brad off right now. I'm just saying. That could be worse. Could be worse than pissing Kyle and Brad off. Although me and Brad, I think we're okay. Me and Kyle, I mean, if he gets out of line too much, I'll just tell Caitlin and she'll slap him around or something. Oh no. I hear a response. We may be getting a number. Oh man. Oh my. I think we might be getting a number in. Did we get one in? Oh no. Oh. He messaged and said, waking my girlfriend up could be worse than pissing Brad or Kyle off, honestly. Excuses are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Excuses. It looks like it's not going to happen, guys. I know everybody wanted to see Chase on here, but apparently, and I understand it. I would rather, if I could get my girlfriend back just by not talking on the phone, that would be cool. But I don't know. I'm more stubborn. I probably would still talk on the phone. That's why I'm here alone anyway. Chaz is just the sprint car version of sports talk radio. I wish people would understand that. Maybe that's what has to happen now. Maybe me and Chase Rodman have to have a show properly promoted. It could be good. Let me ask him. How about tomorrow night? Or is that the first night for this thing? We should see. Ask Chase if his feet hangs off the bed. That is true. So maybe this could be something for tomorrow, but I don't know. I think that may be when Brad, or is Gravel doing something tomorrow? When are we going to get a decision from Carson Macedo, man? That is true. When are we? The Chaz and Chase Rodman properly promoted could be bigger than Rico and Gravel, I think. And don't let Gravel say we could do better. See, because what's happening here, I've noticed a trend. Gravel gets all these people on, and they got big numbers and stuff, but then some people say Gravel really doesn't put on a show, and they tune out, and they don't get to hear much, and they don't talk about serious things, or in the know. I feel like sometimes it's disconnected from in the know. Not in the know of the sport, but in the know of, like, talking points that people want to talk about in the sport. Like a disconnection from authority to the fans, the people, I guess. The people. A disconnection from the people. Oh no, Chase Rodman just said, I can't promise anything, but pencil me in for now. If I put a percentage on it happening, I'd say 60%. I'll say, what night is 100? Hold on. We can both commentate Gateway. That would be funny. That would be funny. The Chaz and Chase Rodman, a little high. People have been asking me if should I go high limit to be the color with Chase. Me and Chase Randall, or Chase Rodman. Funny, begins with an R as well. Me and Chase Rodman as the broadcasting, the dynamic duo in the high limit racing booth has been discussed and said. When I made the announcement video of Chase Rodman actually being the announcer, people were saying, Chaz, are you going to go in there and y'all be a team? Are y'all going to be color commentary? Now, I could do play-by-play pretty good. I could probably do color a little better. I think color definitely. I think, honestly, a 3-person booth is the way to go. A lot of these booths don't have proper room or structure for that. But three people are usually good. You need one guy who's real good play-by-play, one person who's like a former racer of some kind who has some decent mechanical knowledge, and then a third person who's usually a color guy, and all can kind of comment. It's a commentative group that makes it entertaining for the streaming. And in this new sprint car world, the streaming is definitely going to be where the money is at. Lefty said, don't forget about the coin Saturday night too. I don't know, is that a late model or a midget race happening? I'm not sure. Chaz also does pre-race shows from the track. I used to. I haven't recently. The problem with doing pre-race shows from the track in today's society, at least for me, is there's no connections at these big shows. I used to do it off my phone. I don't know if it's because I had something, or it was back in the 4G days. I could go live off my phone at tracks, but today I can't do that. I don't have a good enough cell connection to be able to go live at any of these events, and it's because a lot of people are there, etc. If there was an actual pre-race set up, it would be very entertaining. If it was me and Chase Robin doing pre-race shows at some of these events, I mean, if you're talking about that, some guy called me the other day and said, you are Pat McAfee. They need to put you on their game day shows or their race day shows. It would get that crazy. It would get that crazy because I think I am the only guy like Pat McAfee did to turn around and say, y'all want, how he said, do y'all want Alabama to win? He said, roll tide, roll tide. And then he said, I'm going with Georgia, or whatever he did. Or no, he went the other way. He said, y'all want Georgia to win? He said, I'm going with Bama, roll tide. I think I'm the only guy to pull that off at an actual dirt race, to be like, y'all want Larson to win? Screw Larson. And then they can all boo me, and it'd be a show. It'd be a damn show. Everybody's just too much circle jerkle around here. That would be hilarious. A show that Larson is a part of running has the Chaz on stage saying, screw all you Larson fans. That's gold, though. That's gold. That is gold. There was other topics I wanted to speak about, but besides Chase Rodman, I was trying to find a good picture here, Chase, for your call-in. Look at these old Speed Sport days, big old factory QRC Outlaw car. Look at the Speed Sport Chase Rodman. Kind of looks like, this is kind of like the Twilight version. What's that dude off of Twilight that looks like him? It's very similar. Back in the Speed Sport days, Chase. What was that? California Sprint Week, CRA, Chase. Look at that. Believe that's another West Coast midget. Yeah, it's Bakersfield race. There's football, Chase. And there's the turn evil Chase now. I'm surprised they ain't made you remove this picture yet off your profile. Some kind of cease and desist. You know, the Dirt Vision logo is on your profile. This is I'm surprised they're allowing that. But anyways, few news headlines today. Lawrenceburg is back. High Limit making a post today that Lawrenceburg has been scheduled for May 31st. It's a Friday in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. This track, hold on. 1/4 of an orgasm. All right. And it says it will be in May 31st. It was a TBA date originally for High Limit, but they are going to be going there, and that's pretty good news for the Lawrenceburg fans. Obviously, they're getting a new promoter. Didn't want to put a lot of money into putting a show on. I would assume that High Limit came in and put this show on anyway. But that's a good news for Lawrenceburg and their fans there. Did want to kind of look... Oh, hold on. I don't know anything about fenders, so that probably won't work. Oh, he don't know anything about gateway. We'll just put you down for tomorrow. Hold on, we're hold on. I'm putting Chase Rodman down for the show tomorrow. We'll get the time right. And then if it doesn't happen, then we will blame Kyle Larson. We'll blame smartwatches. How about that? The two rosters as they sit now, of course, today, Noah Gass being announced by the World of Outlaws. I don't really think that's a notch, but something I wanted to talk about was tiers of drivers. Now, the big names still on the list, or still on the board. Biggest is Carson Macedo. I hear Courtney and Marks are going high limit. That's what I hear. I hear that. I ain't going to say all that I know about the Mark situation. But James McFadden and Buddy Kofoid is a big deal, but I hear that Roth thing's only going one car. But I hear Toyota wants two cars. And potentially that 11 car is going to be a Toyota car. I don't know how they're going to work this out. Toyota's doing a lot over here with the 83 Roth situation. I don't know all that's happening, but incentivizing or just me personally just guessing, I'm thinking Buddy Kofoid in the 83 on the World Outlaw Tour as the house TRD car with Roth is happening. I think that's happening. I don't know who else I would consider tier one, and that's what I was going to say, talk about tiers here. Justin Sanders, have no idea. Parker Price Miller's a good driver. He can be a tier one and be a tier two, and we're going to talk about that. But that's what I wanted to discuss here with the established rosters. How many tier one drivers do each series have? Tier one, in my opinion, are guys who are a threat to win every night, and you don't have to worry about, maybe. No. These guys, in our recent mind, if they're there, they're battling for a top spot. They're in the dash almost all the time. These are guys that are tier one, and that's what I consider tier one. These are your winners. These are your champions. These are your badasses. Now, when I look on the World of Outlaw side of this roster, when I think of tier one, I can count David Gravel as a tier one. I can count Logan Schuchart as a tier one. And after that, ladies and gentlemen, tier 1.5 Geo, tier 1.5 Sheldon, based on this last year of racing. I don't really put Sheldon per result in the tier one after this last year. It's on the cusp of tier one. Like I said, 1.5, 1.5 for Gio and Sheldon. Did Gio just light up every stat column there was and win a bunch of races? I mean, he's won big races. I mean, you could say the same thing for Logan outside the million, but they can be consistent, very quick, very fast, and they've been in the championship discussion here recently. So let's just say for sure tier ones, Gravel and Schuchart. Okay? You want to say Donnie Schatz based on history, but if you put Donnie Schatz tier one, then you have to include Gio and Sheldon. I think Gio, Sheldon, and Donnie are in a tier of their own. I don't know if you say that that's tier two, but I don't think you could say that that's tier one. Potential, all these things, what they could do, yeah, they got tier one potential. All three of those guys do. But based on results and previous performances that we've witnessed, I don't know if you could put those guys in tier one category. Now, if you slide over to high limit, we're at 2, maybe 3 with Gio, I would say, at the World of Outlaws. If Donnie can switch it up and go Chevy, then he's a tier 1, 2. But let's just say 2 for sure, maybe 3 on the Outlaw side. Now, high limit. Brad Sweet's tier 1. I don't think that there's a doubt in that. Brad Sweet is tier 1. Rico Abreu is a tier 1. Kyle Larson is a tier 3. He's only in that car because of his NASCAR prowess. He's code trickle part 3. No, he's tier 1. I'm just kidding. He's tier 1. He's probably tier 0. Alien, right? But regardless, full-time. Let's worry about full-time, and Kyle doesn't count. I think that you got Sweet and Rico in a tier 1 system. And see, when you get to tier 1.5s, we counted 3 over here with the Outlaws. If we're talking guys who can be tier 1 but aren't tier 1, that are on the cusp, I think it could slide Corey Day and Spencer Baston, especially based on how Spencer Baston's performance was this last year. Spencer Baston and Corey Day is almost in the same tier category as a Selzy, a Hod, and a Shots. And me, I personally think Peck's right up there with them, personally. But he don't have the result column this last year for me to honestly say that. I can't say that Justin Peck is a Donnie Schatz or Sheldon, even though I think that I'm a fan of that. I believe that the potential is there. But I can't say it because of the performance. Just like I'm sure there's some Sheldon fans out there saying, how could you say that? Oh, my God, because you're a big fan. The reality is he hasn't done tier 1 things like Gravel, Shoehart, Sweet, or Rico has. Sheldon did not perform like those drivers I just named to you, and that's why I'm putting them in a tier of their own. Guys on the cusp of that tier, I think are a Gio, I think are a Sheldon, I think are a Shots, I think are a Peck, I think are a Day, I think are a Baston. But right now, I can't even put Peck in that group because of what's happened. Now, guys who are close to that tier 1 or in that tier 1, not announced, Carson Macedo's tier 1. Right now, we're almost tied. We're about the same. You throw Larson in there, and High Limit's got the higher ability, the more so tier 1 talent and team. A combo here. I think right now the roster as far as heaviness is on the High Limit side. This is almost a swing state debate right here. I feel like we're doing politics. I'm like, but this state right here, Carson Macedo. If this Carson Macedo sways to the blue side, it's almost funny. They should have made their logo red, so this was literally Democratic versus Republic. Although it is funny how the World of Outlaws do a blue scheme for the sprint cars and a red scheme for the late models. It's obvious what they are saying there. That's how separated the fan bases are between sprint cars and late models. But for this segment, it would have been hilarious if these two were red and blues. And we were talking about this Carson Macedo because this is almost like a swing state in an election. Who is the president or the leading body of sprint car racing? Whoever lands Carson Macedo right now is the leading body in sprint car racing. That's a tier 1 that's very important because, and more so important for the World of Outlaws, because I see people buying to pay to watch this roster over here with High Limit, especially when a night Larson's there. I see the fandom over here, Rico, Peck, Corey Day got the West Coast, Baston's got the midget fans, Elias and Zeb, Casey Kane with the NASCAR name, Jacob Allen with the PA people, and I'm hearing Marks is gone. Once again, that's a tier 1. If Marks is over there and Macedo is on the Outlaw side, I don't know if that evens it out. That would pretty much even it out. If Macedo goes to the World of Outlaws instead of High Limit, and Marks goes to High Limit instead of just a true Outlaw, as we think he wouldn't consider a World of Outlaw schedule or a World of Outlaw side in this. I haven't heard that at all. That would be normal. But if Macedo flips, and we documented, we made a show the other day, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, how close the Tarleton family is and group with Kyle Larson, sponsored his NASCAR Cup ride and his return from the N-word season and won the championship. There's a lot of reasons that Carson Macedo name is going to High Limit. But then there's a lot of affiliates on that 41 that say as to why the 41's going to World Outlaws. Now, once again, this is the swing state. This is Texas in the election, by the way. When these elections come around, they're trying to turn Texas blue. Because if you could turn the state of Texas blue in the upcoming elections, you basically, the Democrats can win every presidential election forever. So this whole swap of people coming from California to Texas and escaping the tyranny, hopefully they're going to be voting red, because if that state ever goes blue, it is over for any one of you who want to see anybody but a Democrat in the president office. Regardless, this is huge. This is big. And then Tyler Courtney, I would slot right there with Gio Scelzi. Brett Marks here is going high limit. But man, that Carson Macedo chip right now, man. James McFadden at 11 cars, it sounds like a real good combo. 11 and James McFadden to high limit would be, that's in the Gio Sheldon category as well. I don't know, guys. This high limit roster, I know some people were saying when this whole started off that they thought Outlaws was going to have the more dominant, drivers, the bigger teams, more top teams involved, tier ones on their side, but they thought high limit would have a longer, deeper roster. If Macedo flips, that's not true. And even if he doesn't, guys, even if he doesn't flip, you throw Brent Marks over there and you throw James McFadden over there, I see high limit better at the top and better throughout, especially throughout, guys. I mean, let's say throughout is Jacob Allen, Casey Kane, Zeb Wise versus throughout of Bill Rose, Noah Gass, and Landon Crowley, Brock Zierfoss. Who's better, Brock Zierfoss or Jacob Allen? Actually, that's a toss-up. Actually, it is a toss-up. But there's some others these ain't toss-ups. I mean, who's better, Justin Peck or Noah Gass? That's not a toss-up. Brenham Crouch is the only toss-up. Corey Eliason is established. So, I mean, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting to see how it all comes out. But that Carson Macedo swing state is definitely a big deal. Definitely a big deal. Let's see over here in the chat. Oh, what are they saying now? Did we get a super chat? We did. Okay, let's see what we got here. Slump busting Chaz is the best Chaz. Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh, we got a comment from Mike Speaker. This is the Speedway Shots. Does a lot of great work in the media industry, taking pictures of sprint cars and late models and modifieds. Has done a lot of great things. He says, am I the only one that missed the Outlaws at Vegas? When the track was good, racing was fantastic. Would love to see High Limit or World of Outlaws get back there soon. That is very interesting. Of course, XR, I believe, has some kind of agreement to kind of operate that track. I did see how they kind of sublease promotional duties to someone else for this last year's Duel in the Desert, which they've had big modified and late model shows out at Vegas for quite some time. I believe the last big outlaw race there was the time they had the Dirt Arca race there, and the track was just junk. And the track being good is a very important thing. They are building a quarter mile. I'm not sure if that's ever going to be raced on. They constructed a quarter mile dirt track within the big half mile. It's a great facility. I don't know if the option was explored. I figure a bunch of people in the open wheel world consider Barry Braun like a snake in the grass. It just seems like that they're really scared. Every time I've talked about Barry Braun or XR with sprint car owners or something, it's always fuck that guy. It's always fuck him, checks cleared, this, that. They're just a bunch of, insults, big time insults to Barry Braun. So I don't even know if the people involved there thinking that Barry Braun had something to do with Vegas even inquired on it. But then at the same time, they did something at TMS, at the TMS Texas Motor Speedway dirt track, but that's obviously not affiliated with XR anymore. I'm not sure on that. And I think Barry would work with them. Barry's not as bad as some of these people think. I mean, there's some stuff that you may not like or whatever, but There's some things that he's done okay. There's some things that he hasn't, I don't think. But I don't know why that would hold back a phone call, an opportunity to race at that facility. I don't know why High Limit or the World of Outlaws haven't tried to go back there. It is a great racetrack. But a good question there. Finally, a decent question here from a media member, and one of these underappreciated members of the racing world, underappreciated, underpaid media members. That's what everyone, like I said, except a few announcers and the drivers in this sport are underappreciated and underpaid, and their love is being taken advantage of all the fucking time. All the time. And I think that's a big reason as to why a lot of the people have slotted over to High Limit. But regardless, I'm going to keep going before I get bitter on something. And maybe why Mike Speaker isn't, we could talk a lot about XR Mike Speaker, but we're not doing that tonight. I don't think we're ever going to do that. I don't think. We got to raise our hand one day in court. We do. Let's go. Let's see. Peck beat Larson last year. Yes, he did. Corey Day become a tier 1. See, Corey Day and Gio Scelzi are almost in the same category, except Gio's had his shots, has he not? I mean, is Gio tier 1 anymore? I mean, he looked like he busted on the scene like he was going to, similar to Corey Day. But over the years, hasn't Gio kind of, I mean, yeah, he's won and he's looked fast, but the consistency, it's almost like a Sheldon, I feel like. I don't think I could put Corey Day in the Sheldon category. But I do think I could put Gio Scelzi into a Sheldon category to where, yeah, any day they could bust out and win a race and dominate a couple of big events or just look like next level, but then you don't hear for them or hear about them running good for a month. You know, I feel like that's kind of the stuff that happens with Gio and Sheldon and even Donnie this last year and recently since the switch to Ford. I think you could put Gio closer to Sheldon, and you could put Corey Day and Gio in the same category, but the hope or projection of Corey Day being a tier 1, I think has more validity behind it, more sustainability behind it, because it hasn't had an opportunity yet. Corey Day hasn't been out on the road racing, week in and week out in series like Gio has. So when Corey Day gets that opportunity, then we'll see. And we'll see that this year. If he is a tier 1, will he become a tier 1? I think that's still the question in some people's heads with Gio. And that's why I sit here and say, Gio, you could say Corey Day's like a Gio, but Gio's closer to a Sheldon than a Corey Day. Because Gio's had a couple years of full-time opportunity. And he hasn't went tier 1. I mean, I know winning Lakeside 50K was big. And I know he's won some big races. And what he did at Williams Grove in the 71 car was amazing. But tier 1 is Brad Sweet. Tier 1's David Gravel. Tier 1's Carson Macedo this last year. Tier 1's what Rico did. Tier 1 is waxing ass on a consistent basis and worried about if he's behind you, not in front of you. If these guys get in front of you, the Gravels, the Sweets, you ain't catching them. You got to worry about staying ahead of them. And I don't know if you could say that about Gio. And I'm not hating on Gio. I just think based on reality and results, that's what's happened. That's how I see it. Gio front row of Nationals on a fluke point share, and how did he do? I don't know what you mean by that. Jason Myers is a huge advantage for Corey Day. Hopefully he listens to maybe. I don't know. Corey Day is a 0 alien like Larson. Stamp it. We'll see. What happened to Ryan Timms? Hopefully whatever happened to Ryan Timms don't happen to Corey Day. I think most people know what I mean when I say that. So you can't, day 14, Chase, remember what, is Chase Rodman commented? Is clueless. Who did he call clueless? Oh, Chase Rodman is going back and forth here. This guy, this 1,200 horsepower next gen, which we could talk about horsepower in the next gen. I think it's hilarious. High limit roster is still lacking drivers in competition. Who is going to beat Sweet or Larson? Rico, and I'm telling you what, if Marks goes, he's going to be tough, but Tyler Courtney, Corey Day, I would say more so Courtney. Courtney's going to be the one that's going to give Sweet a run for his money, I think. Courtney's going to be one there, and Justin Peck, but I'm telling you, Justin Peck in the right situation is deadly. I think he's deadly. So, Chase Rodman tells you 1,200 horsepower next gen fuckhead. You don't, you're fucking clueless. That's what he wants to say. He wants to say you're fucking clueless, you dumbass 1,200 horsepower next gen guy. And most of these 1,200 horsepower next gen guys are stupid. I saw this post all over. Oh, wow. Look how disrespectful. It's a tall order for Rico. I think he'll come up short to keep up with Sweets, what he means. Wow. That I am smiling and laughing. I'm sure Rico would smile and laugh at that too. I don't know how anyone couldn't think that is funny. But that's mean. But it's funny, so it's okay. Tier 1, anywhere. Sweet, Gravel, Macedo, Rico, Marks, and then there's the 57. Yes, that's correct. And there's more names. Well, I know it's hard. I want to say Schuhart. He did win the $1 million. I want to put Schuhart on that list. But Schuhart does have a lack of consistency, man. He does. He does, and I hate to say it. No way will 7BC finish top. You're wrong, man. Peck, if Peck didn't break or crash every other week, he'd be great. This is true. I think Justin Peck is a Sheldon. He's going to be the wow factor for high limit. He's going to be the guy putting it on the edge and putting on a damn show. If he can smooth it all out, he'll be tier 1. Spike comes up short every time he wakes up. This is true. Rico would not laugh at that. Remember him getting all bent up over the screen graphic at the Chili Bowl a couple years ago? I do not. But I'm sorry. I laughed at that. I think a lot of people would. I didn't completely laugh at it. I was just like, oh my God. You know, disgusting. I was critically laughing. If that's actually, that should be a word or phrase. I'm critically laughing because I criticize this guy saying this, but I am laughing. So critically laughing. That's a new thing. I'm creating things into reality. Is Anuga? Who is Anuga? That makes no sense. Tires threw some guys for a loop. Sheldon and Logan for sure. Well, that's not... Everybody was on the same tire. If you have to question whether there are 2 or 1, they're not. That's a good point. Peck and Courtney went head-to-head for a couple years back for the All-Star title. They will give Brad a run for his money at high limit. I think so. See you guys later. Got to get up early. We're about to get out of here. We got Chase Rodman marked down. We have marked him down. Hold on. Let's write it down. Chaz, you tried Paul Revere's pizza and breadsticks yet? Oh, I haven't. Is that an actual thing? I am in Des Moines. Is there anywhere to go in Des Moines? I need to get out and go somewhere. I just don't know anywhere to go. If anyone's in the area, we can group up and go do something. I'm down for that as well. Hold on. Let's see this. This is happening tomorrow. Actually, we'll do this. We're not putting the callers up. It's a little too late for callers, but this is happening. Look, not Jeremy Elliott, but look, we'll build it right now. Call. Bam. We're building it right now, guys. I don't know how to tell you this. It is happening right now as we speak. Watch this. It is happening. Here we go. You ready for it? Oh my. Oh my. Bam. Oh. Hold on. We need a better picture than that. That doesn't look good. That don't look playa. That isn't Chase Rodman level. Man, the only good pictures he has is all at the freaking Dirt Vision stuff. Well, I mean, it is a good one. It is a good one. Hold on. Let's get a good picture of Chase in here. I'm sorry, Chase, to make you look so undercover cop, but I would assume that Dirt Vision feels like you have been for these years now that you turned your back on him. Let's see here. That's so offensive to say he turned his back on Dirt Vision. See, but you got to laugh, right? I got the same pass. You're critically laughing, right? All right. This looks good. Hopefully we don't get sued for using Dirt Vision's logo. You never know. You never know. I hear they're coming after me. I hear I'm going to have guns up. We're going to make anything that happens legally as famous as the OJ trial. I will do my best to go live every single day if anything was to ever happen. How does that look? That looks way, way better. Way better. I'm going to have to do some tan. Hold on. We're going to adjust my, we're going to adjust the image here. It's tan and how they did the lighting on that picture. I'm jealous right now. So that is happening tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. It is set up. Calling in tomorrow, Chase Rodman. Chase Rodman is coming on to the show tomorrow at some time. He says 60%. We're trying to verify what time is best, but it looks like that Chase Rodman is coming on the show. Hopefully he does not ask Brad Sweet for permission. I just feel like he'll say no. These guys are scared of me. You know, I can talk, even if I was to get Brad Sweet on here, Kyle's the one that's scared to death to come on here. Although, me and Kyle would be a damn good show. And I wouldn't just sit here and talk shit about him the whole time. I would really want to know a lot of stuff about how he actually got to where he's at that I think nobody's asked him. You know, I think nobody's truly not combated, but at least challenged Kyle. I mean, I challenged him just a little bit in the interview last year at Knoxville, and he almost fought me. You know, it was national news. He got so butthurt. I mean, you would think somebody who has someone basically has everyone he knows kissing his ass 24/7 would be all right with somebody asking or saying something different than usual or being critical. You think it would make him feel normal in some kind of way. It's got to be weird to just walk around every day, all day, and everyone love you. I mean, I'm sure Caitlyn slaps him upside the head every now and then, but tomorrow should be good. If we can get Chase Rodman on the show, it will be informative. It will be extremely informative. I think Chase Rodman's opinion on a lot of stuff is valuable. I think it's missing right now. If he is going to be this voice, he does have the opportunity to slot into that Joe Rogan-esque nature. Maybe if they want me to be the co-host of High Limit next year, we could maybe have something like that going. But as of now, look at that. I need to stop reading comments. Look at these comments. Hey, Rodman, happy you will be the guy. High Limit needs an announcer. Jesse James, the ads are controlled by YouTube, not Chaz. True. Spike, this is why I laugh. Going on the Chaz show is a good way to end your career. Unless you're buddies with Kyle Larson on the low for like 6-7 years, and we just been playing the whole entire racing world this entire time for views and reactions. Unless that's the case. But if that was the case, I'd be in victory lane with him the first time he drove a late model at Port Royal and won. Hell, I'd be giving Caitlyn the beer. Call up Nicole. She needs to be... Oh, wow. See, this is why I stay away from the chat section. But anyways, hopefully this is a reality tomorrow. I even have the matching red. Wow, that's insane. Is Dirt Vision gonna... Is that the sign from the Illuminati? Dirt Vision's coming to get me? They're going to try to hire the Chaz. Dude, that would be a scary fucking turn of events if Dirt Vision tried to come after me to do stuff with them. But as far as Illuminati, they send you signs through reality, the Matrix in a way. It's almost like hacking, but it's not. But look at what was just displayed. I pull up the Chase Rodman stuff, talk about this announcement and all this. The colors of the Dirt Vision jacket, dead on here. My Chaz Thompson Designs deal over here, dead on. The same yellow, the same red, the same white and the same black mix. Dude, that is creepy. But it does kind of match, so that's cool. That's cool. Hopefully it'll happen. This could be monumental. If it can happen, it's going to blow the internet up. But I think powers that be might pump the brakes. Maybe. Not sure. We had a super chat. Knoxville needs a second announcer this year. Oh, my. I don't think Knoxville could handle me. I think High Limit, trying all this new stuff, trying to do things differently, that's kind of where I would fit in if I was to do anything professionally. Doing things differently, innovative, new, exciting, kind of a no holds barred mentality. I think I could find over at High Limit. Brad Sweet, risk taking, even in how you announce or perform or project or anything along. I think I could believe. I don't see Knoxville moving off the porch. And when I say the porch, I'm talking about the porch of thinking. How you think, how you promote, how you think things should be done, how entertainment is made. I don't think Knoxville is in my category. My form of entertainment is interactive, challenging, mind-provoking, all kinds of stuff. You know, antagonistic. I don't think that Knoxville will ever be down for that type of entertainment value. High Limit, Brad, I mean, they're basically doing all those things to the whole entire sprint car world right now, and especially to the world of Outlaws. So it might work. That might work. Chaz, who strokes Largan's ego more, you or Rigsby? Probably Walkipedia. Thoughts on Ohio Speedway going 9 days at 9 tracks with fast? We talked about it yesterday. I mean, it's just as much money, just as good. Should work out. I like that. I like that Millstream has a date. It's really nice. All right, looks like Spike's closing the show down once again. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are a little bit over an hour, almost hour and a half, actually. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Like the video, comment below, and obviously stay tuned for tomorrow night's live talk with Chase Rodman. That's how it's scheduled. Everyone here watched it get scheduled. It is 60%. I'm going to promote it like it's fucking happening. But we'll have to see on the time. Obviously, Chase Rodman being on the West Coast, we could be a little later. And Gravel's live shows, we don't want to step on him. And he's usually been doing them on Wednesday nights. I think last week with Rico was a Wednesday night. So we got to figure out when Gravel's doing his deal so we don't walk all over him as well. But who knows if he's even having a thing. Maybe he's taking a week off. I don't know. But my plan tomorrow night, around Gravel, not around Gravel, at some point in period, Chase Rodman coming on to the Chaz. And I'm not even going to tell you what we're talking about because nobody knows. I think we won't even know. By the end of it, we won't even know what we just talked about. This is monumental. This is called changing the damn game. Almost as changing the game as changing the actual cover of the game from Dirt Vision to Flow Attire. And I think our guest tomorrow might know a little bit about that. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into the show. Like the video, comment below. As always, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be working on some music now late into the night. We will catch you next time. Hold on. Should we play? Well, no. Never mind. My mind's wandering too much. We got to go. We'll see you tomorrow. Chase Rodman live here on the Chaz. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst. We can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how shades, letting her go, letting her rip, letting her fly, tossing her